What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about RJ Davis. So the Los Angeles Lakers brought him in on an Exhibit 10. He's a guy that is looking to at least get on a two-way deal, maybe even be a guy on the main roster as some guard depth and rotation. He's a guy I really like. Played for North Carolina, comes from a prestigious program. He's a little older, right? 23 years old. So again, you look at kind of the older players that are more seasoned, have a better grasp and understanding of how they play the game, what the role is, right? Lakers have done a really good job on hitting on those type of guys, right? You see throughout the history of the draft for the Lakers, right? They're really good at finding those second round as well as those undrafted guys. And RJ Davis may be one of those guys, right? He's undersized for what you want in the modern NBA as far as a guard goes. He is 6 feet, 180 pounds though, so he does have some good size, good strength, good physicality. He is really crafty, really good at change of pace, right? But his real attribute is his playmaking ability. He's like looked at as one of the best playmakers in this draft. A lot of the reason for his life, it's because again, he's 6 feet as well as, his age, right? You see guys all the time will fall out of favor just because, Dalton Connect, right, is a great example. Was looked at as top 5 pick on many big boards and ended up falling all the way to 17th for the Lakers, right? And a lot of that had to do with his age. And then there were some concerns about, the defense, stuff like that, where, you look at RJ Davis, there's questions about his defense because of his lack of size. He's a guy that's primarily going to be that point of attack at the guard position. But he is a guy that, again, he has good size, good strength as far as like weight-wise goes, strength-wise goes. Height is kind of the one limitation, but he's a guy that can be that kind of pest, right? That relentless, I'm just going to keep getting after you. And that's where I think he can really thrive. Right? I think his best shot to make the Lakers' main roster is essentially be undeniable at the dirty work. Right? He's the ideal guard for that kind of dirty work stuff, right? He's the kind of guy that, again, can be that point of attack and just not let up, stay in front of guys, shift. He's got good quickness. He's got good athleticism. He's not like an insane hyper athlete, but he is a good athlete, right? That has good lateral movement. He's a guy that can stay in front of guys, be active with his hands, be physical, right? He's a guy that, I wouldn't be shocked if he is on the main roster. I don't necessarily think that will happen necessarily this year. I do think he'll be one of the two-way guys, honestly. I think what'll probably happen, Christian Koloko will probably come up because he's a restricted free agent, so they'll probably sign Christian Koloko. I think they'll probably bring in Eric Dixon, right? Especially if the Lakers make some trades and get off of guys like Rui and stuff like that. I think Eric Dixon, for his offensive readiness and capability and his ability to slot in at the 5, I think gives the Lakers some versatility there in like a small ball unit, right? He could play the 4, he could play the 5. So I do think that those two guys will be on, which will open up at least two-way spots, right? Because I think that they'll keep Trey Jamison on a two-way, and then I think that there's 2 open spots potentially for these players. And I think that RJ Davis is one of the guys that can get and likely will. I just think he's going to be really good in Summer League. I think he's going to show his, suave. I think his savviness as far as just being that point of attack, athletic. If I'm the Lakers, like I'm talking to him and going like, hey, you want to be on this roster. You want to be on this team. This is what I need. I need you to be relentless. Because again, he's a guy that he's probably not going to be a starter for the Lakers. He's probably not going to be a guy that, plays 30 minutes a night. He's a guy that if he was to be on the Lakers main roster, I'd probably see him being that primary backup, like the Gabe Vincent role, but more athletic and better defensively, right? Because Gabe Vincent is 6'3", but still, like, those guys like Dennis Schroeder, guys like that, right? Using that peskiness, using that athleticism to just get in the teeth. Even guys like a Davion Mitchell, right? Like guys that have built that reputation of just like, hey, this guy is a really good, steady, sturdy, physical player. Get into the chest of these opponents, right? Be that scrapper. Dive for every loose ball. Win those 50-50 balls, right? Create those second chance opportunities for the Lakers. That is where I think Davis will really shine. That's where I think you'll really see him kind of carve out a role to where you could be like, hey, this is a guy that could end up being on the Lakers. I don't think the necessary star potential is there for him. But again, I've talked about it before. Not everybody needs to be a star. Not everybody has to be a star, right? Sometimes you just need those just physical, get after it, especially guards with speed and, peskiness out on the perimeter. You saw what the Oklahoma City Thunder were able to do. Just having, and they're a bunch of 6 to 6'3" guards, right? It's not like they have a bunch of 6'8" guards, 6'6" guards. No, it's a bunch of 6 to 6'3" guys, right? But it's just, again, they just keep swarming and they keep attacking and they keep being aggressive and they find their spots and whatnot, right? So again, that's where I really think that he can kind of find that. Again, he's a guy that can he can get to the basket. He's a great finisher around the rim. So he's a guy that can, finish even through contact, which is important, right? You want those kind of guys. The real weaknesses for him is just the concerns of his size. Like I said, I think he's big, he's strong, he's fit. For a 6-foot guy, he is big, strong, physical. But he's still 6 feet in the NBA in a league where there's a lot of, 6'6", 6'5" guards, right, that are all just big, strong, fast, and whatnot, right? So there's questions about will he be able to kind of match that physicality? Like I said, he is a physical guy, right? He is a guy that is not afraid to get in the chest of the defense and just be that, again, that pest. But it's one thing if you're in a league with a bunch of 6-foot guards, or even in the, in college where it's just a bunch of, again, 6-foot guards that you're going up against. Another thing when you get to the NBA and it's a bunch of 6'5" guards that now you have to defend and go up against. But I really like what he brings to the table. I really do think he's a guy that could kind of carve out a role here for a team like the Lakers. You look at last year, he averaged 17.2 points, 3.4 rebounds, and just under 4 assists. Played in 37 games. For his career was just under 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. But again, he's looked at as a guy. He also was responsible to score a lot more, where I think on an NBA team, he's going to be looked to kind of be that, again, that Gabe Vincent role. That's where I see him really thriving, playing that Gabe Vincent role, or what Gabe Vincent was supposed to be for us. I think of an Avery Bradley, that George Hill, that just defensive point of attack guard that's just constantly, Dennis Schroeder, constantly just getting after it, right? And carve out a role on an NBA team. But 37 games played, 37 games started, 34.2 points per game. He averaged 13.4 field goal attempts, 41.3% from the floor. 3-point range, he was 35.4% this past year on 6.5 attempts. However, he was a 36.7% college career 3-point shooter. Last season, not this past season, the previous season, he was 40% on 7.7 attempts. So if he could just be in that 37 range, 37 to 38 range from 3-point range, then that could be something really good as well to kind of keep in mind. But 2-point range, he was 47% on 7 attempts, EFG of 50%. Free throw shooting, 87.3% on 4.5 attempts. He is a career 86% free throw shooter on basically 4 attempts. Again, rebounding, 3.4 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1 steal, half a block, and 17.2 points. I rounded up on the half a block. It's 0.2, but we'll be nice. We'll be kind because he's a Laker, right? But basically, 17-4-4 guy in college. I think he could be that, honestly, in the NBA. I think that's something that I don't think is unrealistic for him. I like him. I think he has a real chance. I think he has a real shot. But as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me not. So enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.